Well, Marie, here we are. This is How Are You Today, number 10.20. This is the continuation of what I started a couple of weeks back. But I'm under the deck looking at the fan for the kitchen stove that I put in a long time ago. I had to clean away some of the spider webs and so on. But this is the beginning of this little journey today, which we'll try to keep short. Let me turn around and just let you take a quick look at me. And so we look very much like we did a few minutes ago in that other starting of video number 10 on How Are You Today. So I'm down here all scrunched up thinking about the world of boundaries. The last time we had that lengthy video, about 8 minutes, right out a few feet away. Well, let's see if I can get there. And here we are, back almost into the sunlight. Okay, look at this. The old truck, there it is. Nico should be here to drive it away. Oh, okay, here's where we were the other day, looking at our shadow on the driveway. They give you a survey of everything that was going on around here. But notice that things are a little bit cleaned up out here. But right over here, there was a piece of plywood laying on the ground just about here in this little bare spot right there. And I leaned over, picked it up, and there was, I don't know how many angleworms underneath there, quite a few. And they stretched out as they tried to go through the grass of maybe 10 inches long, down to 4 inches long, and in between. But what was so striking to me was that when I got down like this, you can see the shadow of my head. When those worms stayed within the shadow of my head, they were fairly happy. But they moved over into the sunlight, like where I'm pointing right into this area. They didn't know what to do. So they would turn around and go back into the shadow. The shadow of my head created a boundary which they preferred not to cross. And so I've been thinking about boundaries ever since, as part of the mystery of energy, woman, and the scriptures. All three of them require boundaries. And so these boundaries, we have to learn to respect. But also we need to learn to go beyond them. If I stay within the boundary of my own shadow, then there's something terribly limiting about my journey. And those worms underneath that I discovered underneath that plywood were limited to the boundary defined by the shade offered by my head. So, I guess this is just an encouragement for us to learn to live outside of the boundaries that are normally established for us. You know, and I know that we cannot live without boundaries. Boundaries come in such an incredible wide variety of ways. The boundaries established by a structure, the boundaries established by a vehicle such as that, or that one over there, or this one over here. Now, we've already taken a number of pictures from that vehicle and about that vehicle. And here's the playhouse. And over here is where we're creating another set of boundaries. And I've referred to that simply as the treehouse, but it's Gay's Airbnb focus. And so here's where I've been working. This is my work table right here. See that? And here's my toolbox right here. There it is. Look at that. Here's my jumpsuit that Alyssa likes so well because she loves to make jumpsuits. Here's a little tool carrying case right there. But this over here is the scene of all of our activities. Look at that. There's a little tree house. Gay wants that to be an Airbnb. But here is where I have been working. I have pictures of what's underneath right here. I wish I knew how to upload those. I'll figure that out someday. But here's where I'm working right now. I'm trying to establish a water faucet here coming out the side of a post that I'm creating. That's just a temporary post. This will be a light box here. Be an outlet, plug into some accent lights into it. Also a water line that feeds the hose bib over here. And this little area down here is just an extension for future applications. So I'll extend the power line over there and the water line over there. All of this is about boundaries though. The trench is a boundary. You know, boundaries exist constantly. Look at my, look at my head right here. This forms the boundary. And within that boundary, who knows what's going on. So, this needs to come to a close here. But life has its cycles for us. These trees have their cycles. The hemlocks here are dying. Look at this one right over here. This hemlock right here, there it is. See it? It's got green up there, but it is basically dead. And to give it one more year, it'll be starting to rot. There's another smaller hemlock right over there that we got to take down right away before we do any more work on the treehouse, really. The firs are struggling because of lack of water, and I've already described that in other earlier How Are You Are Today videos. And so, Marie, think about boundaries. We have to live in respect of boundaries, but we also have to live with anticipation that it's essential for us to transcend our boundaries. Now, transcendence isn't a very popular thought in our modern day and age of scientism, because transcend speaks of something which is beyond the natural law order, something which is beyond the ingredients of the scientific method. Physics is in, but metaphysics is highly suspect, deemed beneficial on a marginal level, but better get rid of it entirely, because belief in particles and chance transcends all of it. But I live in disagreement with that perspective. I prefer to live in the transcendent moment of the revelation of life in its uniqueness that comes out of my own understanding of what what exists, what can be known by me. Remember I said earlier, I'm a learner, but my learning comes through me, the teacher. I am the teacher who teaches myself. And yet that teaching is to be understood only in the context of living within the boundaries provided by the mystery, the metaphysics of the Spirit of Christ. I do believe in that Spirit. I believe that Jesus lives on and on in each one of us. So I want to explore that element, that boundary for our lives, all of our lives, but my life in particular. So I'm going to go back to my pick and shovel now. Sorry that this is 10 minutes into the journey. I've just been kind of rambling on here. And we'll have one last view of Gay's little purple rhododendron there, and as well as the red one in the background. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the gift of life here in this place. Enjoy episode 10.2. 2-0. And now it's to work. Oh yes, the swing hemlock right there, that one. This swing attaches to it, but that one is dying. You see all those dead branches? And it might make it 2 years, but I doubt it. On that note, I say goodbye.